Planet Vero Studio is powered by the Nolan Group of eXp Realty. MyNextHomeFinder.com.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm David Yak here.
And I'm Susan Keller-Horn.
And you're listening to Yak About Today, where you never know where the show will go. So normally I would say get up, put your headphones on, go for a run, and listen to what we yak about today. But I'm trying to rethink that. I asked you last week if you wanted to do that. It's get up, put your headphones on, or sit down, relax, and watch us. How's that, Susan?
I like watch us.
Watch us.
Yeah.
That's it. So we have a great show today. We got a couple of great filmmakers. We're going to start with a filmmaker, Alan Darnay. He has a film that we've selected for the festival. And by the way, before we get to Alan, I want to talk about that festival. It's the Vero Beach Film Festival. It's June 9th through 12th. Visit us at vbfilmfest.org, and hopefully you'll find out information about it, and you can also buy tickets. All right, let's get to Alan. So, Alan, welcome aboard here.
Well, thank you. That was a really nice intro you guys had going. Nice catchy piece of music. I'm sitting here going, dun, 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 dun.
So, Alan, the films are really tricky because you captured something highly emotional, and I think it affected me. Just a little background. I'm a Jewish guy, and when I was very, very young, my grandparents' generation all came out of the Holocaust, and some of them didn't make it, some of them made it, and they were numbered and all that. So immediately when you see people giving up their lives to get onto this car, this box car, it struck me really emotionally. I didn't know where you were going to go with it, but there was one scene that registered with me, and you can tell me about it. It's where, and I don't know what it's called, where she says we're not religious, but yet they're doing the prayer over the candle. What was the name of that? What is the name of that prayer?
Sabbath. It's a Sabbath. It's a prayer for the Sabbath. Shabbat
The Sabbath
Shalom.
prayer, right?
Right.
David, I have to interrupt you. We didn't even say what the film he's doing
Oh,
is
I thought
called.
I said Boxed.
Oh, it is. It's called Boxed. It's in the dramatic shorts category, and Alan is the director, and it was written by Laurel Levy. And I'm going to let him answer. Well, you.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. So anyway,
Since I made the film, why don't you?
Yeah, I want to
let
ask you.
me explain the film?
Sure, absolutely.
Perfect.
Okay, this is my second film about the Holocaust. It's a Holocaust film. First one was called Immunity. It won awards and humanitarian awards all over the place. I never thought I would ever make a film about the Holocaust, but all of a sudden I found myself doing it. Now this is the second film, and it's the first of a trilogy. It's about a pair of dancers and their child who get swept up in the Holocaust in 1939, actually, and wind up on a train to Auschwitz in 1941. So the film kind of gives you a picture about that. And why I did this particular one is that it's not so much a story about the Holocaust as it is a story about love and the endurement of love against the worst kind of evil in the world. And what we wanted to do was we wanted to show the contrasts between the world then and the world later on. And so we created two eras and put them together. And now there'll be two other films that'll fill in the rest of the story. So that's pretty much it.
I am so glad that there's going to be two more films, because both David and I had said we love the film and we're hoping there'll be more. So thank you for that. What do you have a timeline on when you're expecting those films to be done? Are you already started working on them? What's happening with that?
We have a completed script on the second one called Escape. which kind of gives you an idea of what the storyline is about.
And
that's we've just finished the script and we're starting pre-production.
And you're carrying the storyline with the same characters. Is that it?
Absolutely.
And
it's their life. We're filling in from the two periods that we gave you a taste of.
And will you continue juxtapositioning the Holocaust years with their current years and where they've gone into the future? Is that it?
That is correct.
Right.
That is correct.
We're assuming that the son did not make it through the Holocaust. Is that correct?
You may assume whatever you wish.
That's true.
I
think it's up to anybody's interpretation, and we left it that way.
So one of the things that I thought was very interesting is you're an award-winning director, writer. You've written books, and Laurel is a first-time filmmaker. This is her first thing. She stars in the film. She's got you. She's got Avi Hoffman, who is of the Two Jewish trilogy that's been on PBS. You've been winning awards all together. How did you guys connect?
Well, wow, that's a long story. I met Laurel, must be 20 years ago now. I was doing a film called Bummed Out, and I needed somebody who was athletic to come after this guy in a park with all sorts of flips and stuff, and Laurel could do that. So that's when I met her, and I brought her on to do that film. And then we sort of drifted apart, and then she came to me with this script. And I thought about it and thought that it would make a nice basis for a longer story. And she wanted to produce it, so I've been taking her under wing, and she learns really fast. She's very good.
That's great. And how did you get Avi Hoffman?
Well, Laurel knew Avi for a long time. I had just met him, and he seemed the obvious choice. He's from Holocaust parents, and I remember when I was a kid, like 8 years old or something, that all these people would come through the house and they had tattoos on their arms, and I became aware of the Holocaust, I think, at that point. And the problem is, and why I continue to do this, is that if you take a survey of people under 40 years of age, most of them don't even know what the Holocaust is. They don't teach it in schools. They kind of go past it. And pretty soon all of these people who survived will be completely gone. And if there's no record for it, then it'll disappear like everything else. And we don't ever want that to happen ever again. And I mean, it's almost happening now in the Ukraine. So it's important to tell that story and keep telling it.
I think
the thing I never expected. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I think that was the goal of Steven Spielberg. I think he's recording the stories of the last of the remaining of the Holocaust survivors. Just for the same reason.
Not just him. There's a whole group of people who are doing three-dimensional stuff now, where they're telling their stories, and you can sit in front of a screen and ask them questions, and they'll be able to answer back.
I think I saw that on 60 Minutes, where
they did something.
They're filming everything they can film, every question they think could be asked, and the responses are programmed to, the computer is programmed to understand the questions and then filter out what the right answer would be. I think that's the way it works.
True, and AI is becoming much more sophisticated right now. So it grows and it learns. And the thing for me was that once I started working on it, it affects you viscerally. And once I started working on it, I felt this responsibility to tell the story whenever I talk about the Holocaust as vividly as I can, because I feel a responsibility to 6 million people who died. And I don't want to see that ever happen again. I don't think anybody does. But
no, we don't. We definitely do not. And you're right. It's happening again in the Ukraine. And I am so glad that you are telling this story. Now, I know Laurel will be here with the film festival. Are you going to be able to join us as well?
I'm certainly going to try. I like Vero Beach, and I'd like to share.
We are a nice place to come visit.
That's how we attract the filmmakers. Right.
And hopefully a lot of them.
Yes.
All right, Alan, we can't thank you enough. The film really moved me. And I understand when you say this isn't your typical depressing Holocaust film, because there is an uplifting aspect to it. But
It's beautiful.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for joining us.
I'm so glad you guys like it. It means a lot.
Thank you, Alan.
Okay, you guys have a great day, and tell everybody how to get tickets, please.
Yes. Oh, yes, we'll do that right now.
All right. I will do it right now. It's the Vero Beach Film Festival. It goes June 9th to the 12th, and on the 8th, we have a special dinner. So if you go on to vbfilmfest.org, you'll find out all about it, and you can even purchase tickets. But before we go into our other break, I want to thank New Vision Eye Center for sponsoring the show, because, they wouldn't be a sponsor unless I trusted them, and I wouldn't trust my eyes to anyone else. We'll be right back.
Dr. Stephen Tate offers the safest and most efficient technique for customized cataract surgery. Patients are personally counseled on the best approach for their needs and lifestyle. From multifocal lenses that allow for distance and reading vision to toric lenses that correct astigmatism, let New Vision Eye Center guide you safely through your options. For world-class eye care on the Treasure Coast, visit newvisioneyecenter.com.
Water service? Don't let your money go down the drain. Make sure to get a quote from Affordable Water. Many times, Affordable Water's original price is less than the competitor's discount price. Yes, Affordable Water really is affordable. Make sure to get a quote today, because you haven't gotten a quote until it's affordable. Affordable Water.
Call 589-7677 for your H2O. Call the Pure Water Pros. Affordable Water.
Today at lunch, enjoy a Southern home-cooked meal paired with the best sweet tea in town at Marsh Landing Restaurant. You'll love our daily lunch specials like chicken and dumplings every Thursday, and you've got to try the handcrafted sandwiches. Experience old Florida cuisine at Marsh Landing in Fellsmere.
Are you a therapist or a nurse seeking the multi-state compact license? In the state of Florida, these and many other industries require a Level 2 live scan background check for clearance to work in your industry. A1A Fingerprints is your certified live scan source from Broward to Brevard. And if you're a medical provider, you need to be registered on the ACA web portal. A1A Fingerprints will help you navigate and comply with the law. Call 772-494-6556 or visit a1afingerprints.com. A1A Fingerprints.
Love the earth. Plant a tree for Earth Day. Come to C.W. Willis Family Farms for the biggest tree sale of the year. Bring the family, enjoy food, live music, kids activities, and plant promotions. April 22nd through 24th at C.W. Willis Family Farms on Oslo Road in Vero.
Hey, it's David Yakir here with Susan Keller-Horn, and you're listening to Yak About Today. So we have a wonderful next guest. His name is Jack Kaufman. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I owe you my apology, Jack. And he's got a new film out called Unclorked Potential, and we've selected it for the Vero Beach Film Festival, June 9th through 12th, in case you haven't heard earlier. And so I want to welcome Jack. How are you, Jack?
Hi, Jack.
Hey, good. Thanks for having me, guys. Really excited to be a part of it. I'm glad it's in person again now after a few years,
Yes.
too. It's fantastic.
It is. So, Jack, easy question. How difficult was it to do a film on wine in the beautiful Finger Lakes? I mean, really, tell me about it.
Oh, it's fantastic. So I'll give you a quick background. I went to college in the Finger Lakes, which really helped get me into wine. On the weekends, we'd go to wineries all along the lakes there, the rolling hills. It's been rated as one of the most beautiful wine regions in the country, especially the autumn foliage. And that kind of got me into it. And then I studied a bit of my wine degree in France and ran a wine bar in Charleston to really start building up. So then when I graduated from college, I had a film degree. I had this great interest in wine, and I thought, let's try to bring these together, see what I can do. And being from Connecticut, living in New York City, I felt like the Finger Lakes, only a 4 or 5 hour drive away, is pretty underutilized, underknown to this great market down here in the tri-state area. So I thought, how about we make a film about it? Let's try to educate the world on what the Finger Lakes has to offer for wine. Incredible wines, super undervalued. So it was really fun to make. You know, getting to taste wine all day on a film shoot is no complaints.
Do you plan to buy a winery?
Well, yeah, someday it would be pretty cool. I mean, I've gotten more into the wine world over the years. I work now full-time with a winery in Napa Valley, Tarpon Cellars, an incredible little winery. And I help them with all their content production as well as sales. And yeah, any involvement I can ever have in the wine world. And however, I can always bring film and my filmmaking skills into that is always something I love to do. So, yeah.
So you actually had made this film a few years ago. We had accepted it into our 2020 festival that we had to delay until 2022. And we're really excited to have you back. But people, like you had said, people don't really associate the Finger Lakes with wine. What kind of wines are there? I mean, the film is beautiful, but what kind of wines are your favorites that you find there?
Well, the region, kind of the climate, even the terroir a bit, like the soils, it all reflects Mosel, the region in Germany, quite well. It's just a cooler continental style climate, a lot of slate, which kind of gives minerality to the wines there. And the slopes along the lakes, and the lakes provide that warmth in the winter and then the cooling in the summer. It's like a perfect climate for Riesling, really well maintained acidity. And the producers are really starting to do a really nice job with Riesling. And that's the main white grape. And then beyond that, Cabernet Franc, which is traditionally from the Loire Valley, which is also a cool continental style climate in France, is really well reflected in the Finger Lakes too. So Cabernet Franc does an exceptional job. And we're finding that much more kind of esoteric grapes like Saperavi that are originally from the country of Georgia, which do wonderful there, are doing an exceptional job in the Finger Lakes with producers like McGregor and Dr. Frank. Really nice because they ripen fully in that cold climate. So there's some really kind of cool experimentation and all kinds of wines being produced up there.
And how did you select your wineries? Because I know that the number of wineries in the New York region has increased exponentially. What kind of wineries did you select? I mean, the scenery is beautiful. What I see in the film, I love the wine caves. I love the sceneries of the vineyards. How did you pick who got in the film?
So I started with kind of a historic approach. You know, and the film follows the format. I mean, it follows the format first of geological history and then human history and then up to modern day and then where we think that wine region's going and how it plays a role in the greater world of wine. But with Great Western, that winery there and Pleasant Valley, these are kind of more historic. They kind of got the region going. They've been around for over 100 years. And then I looked at who are the producers now that are really kind of cutting edge and really making some world-class products. I mean, we've seen top ranks in Wine Spectator, top 100 with a lot of these wineries like Ravines, Dr. Frank, Herman J. Weimer, and Dr. Frank, for example, really pushed Vitis vinifera, these traditional European-style grape varietals in the Finger Lakes. And so, yeah, I looked at individuals who really brought it to where it is today, and then individuals and producers now that are carrying that tradition and experimenting further and really developing the region.
Now, at the beginning of the film, I swear I saw people stomping on grapes in a big, huge bucket. Was that really what I saw? I mean, it was just a little teeny tiny clip, but I thought I saw that, and it kind of be fun for people to do.
Lucia did it.
Yeah.
Where did that happen?
We do that in the Finger Lakes. You know, I haven't seen the film in a little bit myself, so I got to review what that scene was. But I'm thinking that might have been actually at Atwater in the lower east side of Seneca Lake, and that's probably one of the best, if not the best, area in the Finger Lakes. We call it the banana belt because it ripens really well on that southeast side of Seneca Lake, not far from Ithaca, where Cornell is, and that's probably where that was. Tons of great wine being made over there. Newer wineries too, like Standing Stone, which wasn't really around or prominent when we made the film, but you know, if we make another version, I'd love to include them too. But the Finger Lakes, you know, foot stomping, all kinds of methods, traditional and modern, are all put to use in the Finger Lakes.
So, Jack, I have a question about ratings. First, I don't know how wines are rated, and comparatively, how wines from the Finger Lakes are rated, let's say, against the Napa wines or the wines of France or something. How are wines rated?
So there's critic scores, which are, it's the main way to do it. There's a classic critic, Robert Parker, who's been around for a while, and he really he kind of created the rating system that we have on this 0 to 100 scale. And James Suckling and Jancis Robinson. These are all, there's a lot of prominent figures in the wine world, big critics, and then also magazines, publications. And then the breakdown of how it's done, we look at the complexity of the wine, the structure. Does it have enough potential for age, good acid structure, tannin structure, alcohol? Is it all well balanced? And again, to that complexity, are we getting just a few notes, or are we getting a beautiful bouquet of notes in this wine? And with the finish, how long does it last on the palate? So these factors are all thought of when we're rating a wine.
And how do the wines from the Finger Lakes compare?
Well, a few of them, like I said earlier, are really starting to come onto the world stage. There were a few Rieslings that made it into the top 100 in Wine Spectator recently, and I believe the producers was Ravines. It might have been Herman Weimer. These are consistently really good producers in the Finger Lakes, and they're up there along with a lot of the German Rieslings as well. So and the nice thing is that there's a unique style too with the Finger Lakes. There's a little more alcohol than you would find with Mosel, but it's not quite as hot, like kind of a heat alcohol like you get from Alsace. And they're really great. And the reds too are now really starting to come on too. That's definitely something to keep an eye out and get some while the prices are still good, because they're a great value right now, but I don't know how much longer that'll last.
Well, thank you so much, Jack, for joining us. Will you be able to join us at the festival this year?
I hope so. I'm planning on it, and I hope to get down there.
Oh, that would be great. We look forward to seeing you there, and thank you so much for sharing your film with us.
By the way, Jack, one last thing. We used to be known as the Wine and Film Festival, and if it, maybe you want to bring a few wines down to the festival so we can taste them.
Absolutely. Well, Jill and I already spoke about this, and I've spoken now with one of the main wineries in the film, Boundary Breaks. It's an incredible producer, and they've already agreed to send a few cases for us to taste with guests at the film festival. So we're super, super excited.
Oh, awesome. We are so excited too.
Yeah, even more so now. All right. Good. Thanks, Jack. We'll see you at the festival.
All right. Thanks for having me.
All right. We got about a minute to go, or a minute and a half to go, Susan.
Well, we got to talk about the festival and how people can get tickets.
That's
you
right.
Go to vbfilmfest.org and you buy your tickets there. There's tickets from $55 all the way up to $575. It's really easy. You select what you think you can do. It's 4 days of fun films. You get to meet the filmmakers. You get to hang around. It's so much fun, and it's worth going to the festival in any capacity. But you want to also think about volunteering, or think about going, taking a filmmaker into your house. You could have Jack stay with you.
That's right. That's right. Who wouldn't want Jack to stay with you?
Maybe Jack's staying at my house.
That's right.
But no, seriously, we are looking for home hosts. It's going to be a lot of fun because we really love to have our filmmakers join us. And our filmmakers love to meet you and talk with you and go to all the different parties and the different things that we have going on. There's obviously the dinner the night before, the Wednesday.
Yes.
June 8th dinner. And there's also so much fun to be had.
By the way, my favorite tickets would be the one I would suggest is the Cinema Select. It is $175, but you can do any film you want, any day, all day. You can even see your favorite films twice because we will rerun the best of the best. So looking forward to you.
We're looking forward to you too. And that ticket also includes our opening night party, which will be an awards party, and our closing party.
Susan, thank you so much. I love you.
I love you too.
All right. We'll see you next time. Thanks for listening and watching.
Bye.